Today's mug moment is from Matthew 23, verses 35 through 36. As a result, you will become guilty of murdering all the godly people from righteous Abel to Zechariah, son of Berekiah, whom you murdered in the temple between the altar and the sanctuary. I assure you, all the accumulated judgment of the centuries will break upon the heads of this very generation. So Jesus here, I feel like we're finishing up the 7 woes of Jesus talking to these Pharisees and teachers of religious law. And it sounds very harsh, and I'm sure it was very harsh, but I'm sure Jesus was also very sorrowful because he knew what awaited these Pharisees and teachers of religious law. And he gives a brief little history lesson of the Old Testament here, starting with Abel. He mentions Abel was martyred. He was the first person martyred back in Genesis. And then it finishes with Zechariah. And I find it interesting because Zechariah, he was murdered by people claiming to be God's people, which is very similar to the Pharisees. The Pharisees were claiming to be God's people. But like we've learned over these last few days, on the outside, they may have looked like God's people, but on the inside, they were filled with greed, self-indulgence, impurity, dead people's bones. God is more concerned about mercy, real love, and forgiveness, and changing us from the inside than he is about us following any rituals. And so I pray today, as we finished up these 7 woes, that we ourselves would take these seriously, because we are not doomed. We have been covered. We have been given the opportunity to accept Jesus's covering for us so that we can spend eternity with him and getting to know him better.